Hi, my name is Jayoza. I coach people who have to give high stakes speeches, whether it's high stakes conversation, job interview, or a formal speech. I want to talk about feedback. And I want to use an analogy here that I think works. Before I go into that, let me just briefly talk about feedback. There is an amateur way of giving feedback, and then there's a professional way of giving feedback. And if you don't do it right, the person that you're giving feedback is not going to receive it. This is really a tricky subject, giving feedback. When somebody asks you, hey, what do you think of my speech? Your natural tendency is to be honest and tell the person, hey, here's what you should do. And you would be right. I'm not saying you have to be dishonest, but you have to tell them what the person should do if you see certain things that the person can do better. And you feel good that you helped the person. So at this point, you think you did the person a favor. But here's the problem. The person receiving it doesn't receive it that way. When that person asked you for help, you took it literally and you gave them the answer. What happens is the person becomes resentful because now he feels like, oh, why didn't I figure it out? Right? Like, why did you have to figure it out? And this is something that when we give feedback, we never think about. So the analogy that I want you to use to give a professional feedback is pretend you are at an ophthalmologist or an optometrist. They put you in that machine and you're looking through and they're adjusting numbers, and the optometrist will adjust it and saying, is this better or this? Is this better or this? He can't pick the number, the prescription for you. You get to decide. And at the end, when you say, yes, I'm seeing better with this, and then he'll just again change it. Let me do this. Is this better or this better? Is this better or this better? You know what I'm talking about. It goes on till you get it, till you can see the 20/20 row, and then voila, boom, suddenly you're like, wow, I can see everything so much better than before. And that's what you want to do when you want to give a feedback. That's the professional way of giving feedback. So if somebody says, like, the opening is something that you think needs work, you should say, what are some of the different openings you think you can come up with? And then say, well, what if we try this and this? Which one do you like better? This or this? You keep doing that. And this is a lengthy process, and I understand that feedback is not easy. It's hard. But if you want to do a professional feedback, if you want to give a professional feedback, it is time consuming, but you got to know ahead of time how are you going to give the feedback. And the decision is not something you're making. The decision has to be made by the recipient. If the recipient is not making the decision, the feedback isn't going to work. The person is not going to receive it. So next time when you're asked to give a feedback, think of yourself as an optometrist or an ophthalmologist, and you're adjusting the vision, and the person gets to decide, yes, I can see clearly now on what I need to do to make my speech better. That's the response you want to get. Not telling them, do this, do that. It's not going to work. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.